Job, but this is going to be an exciting time because now God speaks. And when God speaks, we better listen. I think I've shared with you several times about Ron Dunn saying, I didn't hear him in an audible voice. I heard him much louder than that. And hope that you hear him loud now as he speaks with Job, but it might as well be talking to us. And we're going to find that there are four chapters where God is going to speak to Job. And there's 129 verses where God speaks to Job. And as we look at today's chapter 38, we recognize that likely Elihu, Zophar, Bildad, Elihu, and Job were all listening to this. 38 through 41, 129 verses. And God's got some questions for Job. Now, Job's had a lot of questions for God. It's only fair that God would have some questions for Job. And he says, who gives counsel with words without knowledge? Job, you've been speaking a lot, but do you really know? Now, I think it's also interesting that God speaks out of a whirlwind. And in verse 3, I couldn't help but to want to paraphrase verse 3. He says, gird up your loins. And I would say, Job, put on your big boy pants and listen to what I have to say. I will ask, and then you see if you can instruct me. Now, he has 8 questions about creation, beginning at verse 4. And he says, where were you when I laid out the earth? Who set the measurements? Who stretched the measurements out and made the plan? Who laid the cornerstone? Who enclosed the sea and kept it in its place? Who made the clouds and their boundaries? And how is all of this restrained and kept in place? There's 8 questions there about creation that he's asking Job. Job, what do you know about the creation? What do you know about the creation? With all of the scientists and all of the studies that have been made and all of the theories that have been concocted, how much of creation do you really know? Is it plausible that there was a Big Bang theory? Well, if there was, then how do we define that matter can't be created or destroyed? Or where did the bolt of lightning come from? And what about the swirling gas masses? Where did they establish themselves? No, I think it'd be pretty hard for anybody, even the best scientists in the world, to answer some of those questions about creation. I just recently had a conversation with my daughter, and she and I both agreed as we were talking about health issues and ears and noses and throats and hearts and lungs. How could anybody believe that we just evolved into these complex beings that we are? Well, God goes on in verses 12 through 15, and he says, who controls the earth? Who brings about the morning and who sets the dawn in place? Who controls the light? Then he goes on in verse 16 and he says, and how about the sea? Can you walk in it? Can you find its depths? Do you understand how it works and what keeps its boundaries? Do you really understand the expanse of the earth? And God says, tell me. If you're so smart, if you want to say that you can't find me or that you don't feel my presence, then answer these questions about creation, about the earth and how it works. Tell me. If you know all of this, tell me about it. He compares mere man with God. You see, if we really get honest, Just so much of this world and so much of us that we don't understand even today, with all of the years, all of the studies, all of the theories that we don't know. There's no one like God. He is a creator. He's a sustainer. And by everything, he holds it in place in perfect order. Think about it for a minute. He was getting Job's attention to say, how can you compare yourself or others around you with me, the creator of the heavens and the earth? Why not meditate on that a while today? And as you do, my guess is that you'll become smaller and smaller, and God will become larger and larger, as he should. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.